Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And to little bit of explanation of my name is Apulia, Alan Pineda Lindo. There means from Angeles, Pampanga. So that's Kabalet. Kumusta ka, Kabalet? May kabegi po siya yung kapampangan niya. First of all, it's a privilege and an honor to be here tonight. And just everyone coming together with the same values of helping other people. And I just really want to thank ADB for picking the Apulia Foundation as one of the organizations that they're helping. And I'm just really, I just love to see, companies and people coming together and really, trying to help people out, trying to better education, and trying to give opportunities to the youth of the Philippines. And I really commend that. So thank you, ADB. It's really important for me to give back because I was a kid, a product of a foundation called Pearl S. Buck Foundation, and also an education program. And it's very simple back in the days. So what we would do is Pearl S. Buck would get sponsors from the U.S. and in return, we have to show all the products we bought for Christmas, like next to it, and also we get to write. We get to write, and it's very simple. Through education, back in the days, right? Through education, I learned how to write and speak English. So I was able to tell my story to my adopted father. So, I'm just like, I would tell him stories like, because I'm sorry, Dad, that my grade in this subject is a little low because I have eye condition. It's called nystagmus, and I cannot see the blackboard too far away. So sometimes I run behind on my classwork. So, so he got really interested in my life story because I would tell him I was having a hard time in school. So he decided to adopt me and have ophthalmologists from the U.S. to look at my eyes, and that's how I got to the U.S. And that's through just simple learning English and I'm able to like tell my story to him. So he really took interest in my life story and decided to help me out and brought me to the U.S. So first so I got to the U.S. First I got to visit. Like in '86, because he wanted an ophthalmologist from the U.S. to look at my eyes, and of course he took me to Disneyland and Universal Studios, and I thought that was U.S. And I was like, Dad, can I stay already? It's like, oh no, son, we have to wait for the Philippine government to finish up the papers, and then and then I had to wait, 3 years more to finish up the papers. And of course, I went back home, right? I went back home here, and then I would tell my mga kaibigan ko po, I would tell them stories, and I was exaggerating a little bit, I'm like, yeah, I went to Universal Studio, and that show Knight Rider, the car that drives itself, Kit, yeah, he drove me around the block, And it was stationary, you get to sit down, but I had it extra. So 3 years later, the papers finally finished, and then went to the U.S. And my dad needed a babysitter on the weekdays, and he was rooming with Will.i.am's uncle. So Will.i.am's uncle was like, oh, my sister Deborah could take care of Alan during the weekdays when you go to work, Joe. And so they took me to Will's house. So they took me to Will's house, and they took me there, and Will told me that I sat down on the couch for like 5 hours without saying anything, like, because imagine this, it was a culture shock for me, coming from the Philippines, and now I'm in the U.S., I'm in somebody's house, and it was pretty hard and interesting and all sorts of stuff at the same time. And then, I sat there, and finally, Will.i.am decided to talk to me, and it's like, so, you're from the Philippines? And he looked at me like, you're from the Philippines? And I was like, yeah, I'm from the Philippines. It's like, what do you guys do there? What do you do there? And I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't fluent yet back then. I was like, I break dance, and I know this new dance move called the Running Man. It's like, the Running Man all the way from the Philippines? And I was like, yeah. It's like, can you show it to me? I was like, okay. And then I just do the Running Man, like. And then, and it's like, yeah, I dance too, I break dance too. So we became best friends, and we formed our first group. It was called Chavo Nation, and we would go, at 16, 15 years old, we could only go to like house parties. And guess what house parties we would go to? Of course, Filipino house parties. And I introduced him to his first girlfriend was Filipina too, and then so was Taboo. They're all Pinoys now. And so we would just go to house parties. We would join battle contests, rap contests, and then finally, it didn't happen overnight. It took us, I don't know, maybe 7 years to even get noticed. And back then there was no email, no YouTube, no Twitter, Facebook. So and we actually had to prove ourselves, So what we did is we would every show we would have a mailing list. So we would get everybody's address, and for the next show we would mail them the flyer. We'd mail them flyers to tell them where the next show is, and then we would shop our demos to the record companies and like, oh, we don't know if this is tangible enough, So we had to prove ourselves. So we would mail the flyers, and then our show started getting bigger and bigger. Our following started getting bigger and bigger, and then finally the record company's like, who are these guys? Like, they got so many fans, and then finally we got signed. We got signed to Interscope Records, and I remember our first giving back that we used to do back in the days, back in 1998, is we would do like a Christmas show, and we would just ask all our fans to bring canned goods, toys, and whatever they can give, and then we would deliver them to foster homes. So we were doing that since 1998, and then we started the Peabody Foundation, and then we've built centers in East LA, one in Redlands in the Bay Area, one in Brooklyn, and then after a while, me and Will were like, damn, we've been building all these schools. How about our country? How about our neighborhood? So I was like, yeah, you're right. So then I would go home for the holidays, and then I would just see the difference of education compared to the kids in the U.S. and to the Philippines. And then I was like, hey, because all the kids in the U.S. are like computer savvy, like YouTube and everything, and then so I just wanted to provide the same opportunity that was given to me, and I remember I called my mom. I was so I'm very impulsive, so one night I just told her, like, Mom, I got an idea. Got an idea. All right, we're gonna buy a building, and then for Christmas, I'm gonna put 25 laptops in my luggage, and then all the kids in the neighborhood could like learn computers and Google stuff, and then my managers are like, dude, hold on, you can't bring 25 laptops in your luggage. They get messed up, So we found a better way, and we partnered up with who was it again? HP. Partnered with HP, and we built the first computer lab in my town. It's in Sacomato, Angeles City, and there's 25 desktops in there, and it's just so, and then I get to visit. I always visit to see how they're doing. So my recent visit, the kids now, they're like editing their own video. They're making their own video. Their GPA has gone up, and then now they're qualified to go to university. And their English got way better. So that's why it's really, the Apple App Foundation, its main advocacy is technology, classrooms, and art. So, because in the future, I would like to have code writers from the Philippines. Imagine all these kids with the computer labs. They start making their own thing. Because I want the youth of the Philippines to compete against the world too, and have the chance and the opportunity. And to make something of themselves, and so with all the acolytes and Grammys and all that stuff, it makes me happy. But giving back to the kids is really what brings me joy and motivates me in what I do. There's no feeling. There's nothing like that feeling of giving somebody else a chance, and it's just amazing. Like especially Filipino kids, you give them, all they need is an opportunity, because they're now they're all the kids now, they're all showing me stuff. They're like, yeah, I made this, I made that, and it's just amazing to see. And the other day, I actually came from Negros Oriental, and we built another 2 kindergarten classrooms over there, and it's a pretty remote area. And the kids are just, the joy you see on their faces, and because now they have a place, to that they could go to and achieve their dreams. So it's really important for me to be building these classrooms, and I just want to thank Red Ribbon, Franklin Baker, because I partnered up with them, and not only the macaroons are tasty. Why do you need to know? You're helping out build schools all over the country, so I just want to thank Franklin Baker for Red Ribbon. And of course, once again, ABB, thank you very much. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat for helping. Well, I guess that was my speech. Thank you very much.
What's happened?
Okay, let's sample macaroons.
Song! One song!
Do you have any music over there?